Each of us has our own unique background and story of how we became a part of Chiefs Kingdom.
Our reach is far and wide, with fans all over the world cheering on our Kansas City Chiefs.
Everyone donning the red and gold has figuratively signed that mutual agreement and come together for one common purpose.
For 76,000 of us at a time, to descend upon Arrowhead, man our stations, let out our loudest battle cry to the tune of 142.2 decibels, and make that stadium rock until our opponents beg for mercy.
We are unrelenting in our pride for this city, these players, and this team. This is the show for the Allies, Arrowhead Allies.
Brian, if you ever wanted to be unrelenting for your pride for this city, for this team, it is today. Welcome to Arrowhead Allies, where we all have a little bit of unrelenting pride coming in here. It's a 2-in-1 Tuesday. Welcome in. Get up for it. Brian, you got a smile on your face. You got the biggest smile, so let's start with you, man. How you doing?
Oh, man, feeling great, man. 13 plus 87 equals 100. And we keep it real on this show. You know what I'm saying? All my Swifties, welcome to Arrowhead Allies, Swifties. Let's go.
You're filing in. Talk about this. Clint and I don't profit off this, and we don't get anything from it. I mean, we do have a T-shirt out here. You can get
no problem.
Get a hoodie.
Yes.
Just go to Starcade Media's Facebook page, hit view shop, and get it. Get all your merchandise right there. We got stickers, tank tops like Clint's wearing. We got it all.
That's right.
That's beautiful.
I wish I could say that's what I got on here, you guys. That's beautiful stuff. It's on. Kansas City is the epicenter. Michael Matthew, all the way from Hollywood, California. But for once, look out, because Kansas City is the place to be, buddy boy. What do you think of that?
It's always about Hollywood. You know, Hollywood always comes first. But, man, we got Taylor Swift there in Arrowhead. Like, this is – like I always say on the show, it feels like being a Laker fan. You know, when you're a Laker fan, you get all of this love, the celebrities. If you ever go to the game, you're counting celebrities. You're meeting celebrities. So it's like being a Laker fan. I love it for Chiefs Kingdom. Now it's time to continue winning, baby.
Yeah, we've got a comment here from Kenneth Cadwell. Let's go, Chiefs. Way to go, Andy Reid, for exposing the league's bias towards Taylor. When I read that, I thought he meant Taylor Swift. But no, it's Jawaan Taylor. I got that confused. So we will be getting into that for sure, because it's getting ridiculous at this point. I don't know. Johnson's out here. I can just throw up this image now. I was going to get to it later, but Kenneth, we'll just get to it right now. We see all.
Let's get in, hop into it, man.
That was Patrick Mahomes' 200 touchdown taken off the board.
It's ridiculous.
The Minnesota one right there isn't egregious. The Bengals one is bad because of the guard. Like as a guard, you're never that far back from the center. And the tackle, Orlando Brown, he's right next to the guard. So that's not on the tackle, that's on the guard. But the Eagles one, look at that up top. You see the right tackle up top? Like
Johnson.
he's known for doing that. And the Chargers one is probably the most the one that resembles Jawaan Taylor and what he's doing the most.
Yep.
As you can see, the crown of the helmet, it just slightly tips the centers behind. But guys, that's a typical NFL formation. All of the tackles are like that, including Jawaan Taylor. I'm sure we've seen it on film. He corrected it this week. He was better with it. He wasn't out wide like he was week one. So yeah, Andy Reid was writing and calling out the refs this week, man. Enough is enough. Come on now. He learned his lesson.
He absolutely did, but we got Natasha Brown. Can I get a hey, guys? 1, 2, 3. Hey!
Hey!
Natasha, we'd love to have you weigh in on this Jawaan Taylor situation, as both Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid kind of held the NFL officiating accountable, more so than you normally hear from high-profile coaches or players. Like, hey, guys, we got to call this even. We got to figure this out. We had Dean Blandino on last week. Gosh, we probably should have called him again and said, Dean, you're going to have to clear this up, because you took Patrick Mahomes' record-setting touchdown number 200 off the damn board for another second Jawaan Taylor illegal formation. I'm over it. I'm tired of it. And then Mahomes gets injured on the next play. Not injured, hurt.
We have seen Andy Reid more vocal about this in the last 48 hours since the Chiefs and Bears game has ended on 2 different press conferences. And I know we live in an era of political conspiracy theories. We live in an era where Roger Goodell himself joked at Travis Kelce's in his brother Kelce's podcast that I was at in April about a script. And he even said to the crowd, "Did you like the script of two brothers playing in the Super Bowl?" He said, "We planned that out. Originally, we asked the Bosa brothers, but they didn't want to take part, so we had to settle for the Kelce brothers." The crowd in attendance loved it, but Roger Goodell was playing on people saying there's a conspiracy or a script. My concern, not script, not conspiracy, my concern, the longer this goes on throughout the year, if Andy Reid continues to complain about it and Chiefs Kingdom continues to complain about it, 31 other fan bases are going to look at it and say, "Hey, you got the freaking holding penalty in the Super Bowl that helped you win a Super Bowl title. You, Chiefs Kingdom, have no right to complain about anything." So I feel like there's an unnecessary rule that has been put in place that the refs can throw the flag anytime they deem that Jawaan Taylor is not lined up correctly, which is sad because Noah just put everybody else there. Lane Johnson was so bad yesterday, they didn't throw the flag. It was shocking. So it's something that I am concerned about. What do you think, Michael?
No, it's, man, just to see people post all throughout the day, when it came to the Taylor situation and to see other teams, how the tackles were lining up, it's clear cut that they're picking on this guy, and I know you had the first game of the year in Kansas City and, Collinsworth was talking about it, but enough is enough. If you're going to not crack down on every tackle throughout the league, some guards, like Brian said, you got to just let it go, because you got Lane Johnson, whose foot, like, it's a false start, and you're not calling that. And I know that in real time it's probably a little tougher, but it's no way that they're not going back to look at this tape. So we're going to see this week when the Eagles play again if they calling this false start. But Lane's been doing it since the beginning of his career. So it's just something that, they're picking on a guy. That's why I'm so happy Andy put in Prince and said, line up exactly where I want you to line up. Let's see what they're going to call. And they didn't do it. He kind of told the league, like, hey, I see what you guys are doing. You guys need to cut it out. So, it's going to be interesting to see this week if he gets any of those calls, because enough is enough, man. So just let this guy play. Now if he's lining up and he's next to the quarterback like a running back, of course, throw the flag. But if he's slightly cheating what a lot of the tackles are doing in the league, man, you got to let it go.
Yeah, we had this from Charles Goldman. No, Jawaan Taylor did not get benched on Sunday, although a lot of people thought he was pulled and benched. Andy Reid mentioned that he had a laceration on the inside of his mouth, but I'm told the team pulled Taylor intentionally. It wasn't just to sit him as they began to rest other starters in a blowout either. The team did so in order to have Prince Tega Wanogo align at a similar depth to see if the officials would call a penalty. Donovan Smith also set deeper than he did in the first half. Well, guess which players didn't get called for an illegal formation penalty? Donovan Smith, Prince Tega Wanogo. So yes, they are singling out Jawaan Taylor. And like we've mentioned, it's just ridiculous at this point. We're going to have Dean on and explain this or talk to the league officials, because I don't know what we're going to do if this keeps happening. Is Jawaan going to have to sit permanently if they can't get this fixed? He's going to have to line up closer up and be, even though the others don't have to follow the rules, he's going to have to follow the letter of the law of the rules.
No, I thought he was closer this week. I just thought these officials just came off as jerks. To be frank with you, they were picking on him. We saw it throughout the game. It wasn't just the first half or the first quarter. It was throughout the game where they was doing this with Jawaan Taylor when he was in. They didn't do it against the Bears. I don't remember a call for the Bears being lined up illegally or anything like that. So to me, it was an obvious hit job, man. And the NFL, okay, fine. You proved your point. We see it. He got better this week. Now lay off, man.
Tom Hood's right. What if they use it in the playoffs? That's my concern.
I thought about that too, Shaggy. For real. I can see that happening. Can you see a crucial third and 8 against the Bengals or something in the AFC Championship game in Cincinnati? Can you imagine that? Now it's 3rd and 18. And Mahomes has the ball at the 45 and we need a touchdown, with a minute left. We only got one timeout left. Like, come on.
Yeah, they can't be too blatant with it because then it's like, okay, now you're clearly cheating this team because you guys been calling it all season long. Like, they have to eventually fix it. And we talked about, do you sit Taylor? Taylor is playing really good football. Like, the O-line is playing some good football. Yeah. It's just he has these penalties called on him. And just like Lane Johnson, he's been doing it for years. But it's not until you come to the Chiefs and you play on the first game of the season that it becomes an issue. Just like if Patrick Mahomes were to pull out the Eagles quarterback sneak, I guarantee it will be banned, within a few weeks. But it's crazy that they're doing this to this guy because he's playing some really good football. The O-line is playing really good football. And it's just tough because if it does come back to cost the Chiefs a game during the season, fans are going to be pissed. And, it's going to be all the NFL's fault.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the Chicago Bears, a team so hapless that after laying a 41-10 beatdown on them, I rarely feel bad for another professional sports franchise, but I found myself feeling bad for Justin Fields, a lot of the players, Matt Eberflus, some of the coaches for the Chicago Bears. They are just out of it, although Michael, Matthew, they are in it for Caleb Williams if they can just fall to the Denver Broncos next week and keep pace. So Caleb Williams, Chicago Bears. Obviously, we're going to talk later about Joe Namath. He's seen enough of Zach Wilson. I think we've all seen enough, unfortunately, of Justin Fields. It's just not working, and they are as hapless as an NFL team as I can remember, maybe since, I don't know, the 2012 Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah. But no, it's just, what it comes down to is that organization is not great. And then Justin Fields, like I know a lot of people try to make up excuses saying the coaches aren't doing this, coaches aren't doing that. He just isn't a great quarterback. Like, he's a really good athlete, but he isn't a great quarterback that can lead your huddle, X's and O's. Like, they showing plays back to last week before they played the Chiefs where it was guys wide open that he was just missing. Like, you can't coach that, and I know people are saying, get back to what he did last year. It's tough to do because teams prepare for that. They're like, hey, this is what they did good last year. This is what, we're going to see if he adjusted and got better. And he just clearly hasn't. And maybe he can go to another situation and they can probably fix him. But they asked for more talent around him. They got some, some weapons, DJ Moore. They got, Claypool over there. They got Kemet at tight end. Like, I really don't know what more that they can do, to fix that situation other than getting lucky, going to maybe try to get their Andy Reid somehow, some way, and they start from there. But if you're just going to put it on Justin Fields, I just don't feel he was that guy. I was saying it all off season. Fantasy football, he may be really good for you, but when it comes to winning football games, he isn't that guy.
He's a train wreck. The Bears are a train wreck. I mean, I'm sorry. Let me say this real quick, Brian.
No, go ahead. You got it.
As Clinton, Noah and I talked with Rich Baldinger on Sunday morning on Arrowhead Kickoff, it seems like their organization is in such disarray from top to bottom. Matt Nagy was the NFL Coach of the Year in 2018, took the Bears to the playoffs. In 2019, they missed the playoffs. In 2020, he took Mitch Trubisky. Matt Nagy took Mitch Trubisky and the Bears to the playoffs again in 2020. Then they missed the playoffs in 2021. Matt Nagy's fired. They're moving everybody around. So in 2 of the 4 years that Matt Nagy was there, he was the NFL Coach of the Year and took him to the playoffs twice in 4-year span. And now they're so knee-jerk. They're so quick to just throw away the program because they want to be as good as the Chiefs, the Dolphins, the Bills, the Bengals. They're just so quick that and they're in the NFC. They're not even if they just would have in my opinion, if they just would have stand pat and try to grow more with Matt Nagy, maybe Trubisky wasn't the answer. But it just seems like when you do that, when you have an NFL Coach of the Year and then fire him 4 years later after only going to the playoffs twice in a 4-year span, it shows unprofessionalism. Go ahead, Brian.
So I believe in Justin Fields' talent. I think that with better coaching, I think he could be better. How we know that Matt Eberflus is a good coach?
Well,
how do we know this?
Probably.
We don't know that. He's a defensive coach trying to raise a young quarterback in this league. It's hard enough having an offensive coach. Look at Brandon Staley over with the Chargers. He's terrible, okay? He has Justin Herbert, a crown jewel of the league, by the way. He can do it all. and they're 1-2. They were damn near 0-3, almost losing to a terrible Vikings team. I'm sure we'll get to that later, though. Yes. But that's besides the point. Where you're drafted matters. And Justin Fields was drafted into a total dysfunctional dumpster fire of an organization. And you know why they're dysfunctional? Because when your quarterback comes out and just freely says the things that he said about coaching, whether it wasn't to critique them or not, for you to even say that, for you to even think that, it's not good, man. You didn't hear Patrick. I'm sure there were some things that were said between Bieniemy and Mahomes behind closed doors. I'm sure it was, but you didn't hear Patrick Mahomes. There was no leakage of any of that. Okay, whatever was happening on the field, like last year during the Colts game, during halftime when Mahomes wanted to push the pedal and they got into it. We seen Bieniemy get into it with Travis Kelce, but the fact remains is all of those things stayed behind closed doors, and the fact that Justin Fields felt inclined enough to say that to the media. He went to Ohio State. He knows what the media can do. He knows you can use it like an instrument. For him to do that, it's total dysfunction. But I believe in Justin Fields, though, man. I think he could be better. I really do. Behind a better team with and like you said, Michael, he has all the pieces. The pieces are there. Okay. And the last thing I want to say is they could be going for Caleb Williams. Because that team looked pathetic.
Does Caleb Williams want to go there? He might stay in school.
He could. Shedeur Sanders, maybe he can go there. But I just wanted to say, like, they look like a team that were tanking. Like, Denver looked awful. Chicago looked just as bad, though. The Chiefs could have put up 80 points against them guys on Sunday. Yeah. Don't get it mistaken. If they really were trying to do that. So I've never seen a team look that pathetic besides the Chargers, the brand smart game and
30-0.
Yeah, that's the only other team that I've seen look like that pathetic in a game, man. It was awful.
It just looks like they have no hope. It looks like they have no hope over there. Like, I don't know if it's no hope.
It looks like they're not playing for their coach.
Yeah, that's one of them for sure. But usually sometimes, if you have that young quarterback that just brings that spark, like a young Michael Vick did, it kind of just raises everybody else. Like, man, we got us a stud. And as far as a runner, Justin Fields has that. Like, when he can find running lanes, he looks amazing. But as far as dropping back and dissecting offenses as a passer, like, he just looks like a bottom three quarterback. And I think a lot of the guys that play receiver that, like, they know, they're like, man, this guy isn't, unless we're wide open, he's not going to find us. And a lot of these really good teams that he's playing against are like, hey, we're going to find a way to make you pass the ball. And yes, the coaching can do a better job to try to, design some runs, but you can't be designing runs when it's 2nd and 12 and, 3rd and 14. Like, he has to eventually pass. And if he can't pass the ball, it's just going to be hard to win in this league.
I honestly believe during the last thing I'll say about this, I honestly believe Justin Fields, Matt Nagy didn't want to play Justin Fields' rookie season in 2021, but the Bears were so bad with who's the quarterback that they had, the redheaded guy? Oh my God. Andy Dalton. Things were so bad with Andy Dalton that he got forced to put in, and then that was a train wreck for Justin Fields, so they immediately fired Matt Nagy. I think if they would have used that to grow, I think with Matt Nagy as their head coach, I think they would have grew, but that's all I got to say about the Bears.
But who is growing with Matt Nagy? I don't know about growing, but Matt Nagy's here, and Patrick Mahomes is setting records. Whether Matt Nagy has anything to do with that or not, fewest games to 25,000 passing yards in NFL history. Patrick, LaVon, Mahomes, 83 games. You might see some other numbers on here, wondering what those are. This was didn't need to be done, but I love stirring the pot. So I rank them by most impressive in my eyes, and Dan Marino's number one. Although he did it took him 9 more games. He did it in an era where passing the ball was much more difficult, to say the least. The rules weren't geared towards the offense. And then Patrick Mahomes 2, and Jared Goff 3, Kurt Warner 4, Peyton Manning 5, because Jared Goff is not a very talented quarterback, didn't have the weapons.
One of these things is not like the other here.
Manning and Kurt Warner had, so definitely.
Impressive, to say the least. And that's not it. We're also living in an era, guys, where because of the Jawaan Taylor penalty, Mahomes was denied of his 200th touchdown pass, but he sits at 199, tied with such titans as Alex Smith and Phil Simms. The Alex Smith
That's crazy.
situation
That's
really
crazy.
stands out because you think about Alex Smith being a number 1 overall pick back in 2005 with Aaron Rodgers going later on in that draft, and to think that of Alex Smith playing a long career for the Niners, 5 years for the Chiefs, and at 174 games, he gets to 199, and Patrick Mahomes has done it in 83. Hell, I thought Phil Simms had 164.
Yeah.
In that one Super
Alex
Bowl
Smith
against the Broncos.
It's Phil Simms for me. I'm sorry. I got to butt in on this one. Phil Simms, to me, had kind of a Hall of Fame career. He only won 1 bowl. He got 2 rings, but the other one was Jeff Hostetler.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
In that defense.
The Bills game. Yeah.
But my point is, like, Phil Simms had a great career, and Patrick Mahomes is already going to pass him. We hope, we pray, in his next game. With like, it's just crazy. Like, and I know Mahomes has been in the league since 17, but this is on what, year 7 for Patrick. And he's already, passing up greats like Phil Simms. You can't tell the story of the NFL without Phil Simms.
Facts.
I mean, this is guys. He passed Joe Namath and Troy Aikman like 2 years ago. That's how crazy this is.
Because it's just eras too, like
it is.
You look at the game of basketball.
The red era.
Yeah.
Where's the shirt?
You look at the game of basketball, you see all these people knocking down. Shout out to the Swifties though, man. Much love to them. They have a home in Chiefs Kingdom. Hey, there's a club out here I'm a part of. It's called Chiefs LA, where it's a bunch of Chiefs fans here in LA that go to the games. There's a bar, Jalapeno Pete's, Century City. Come pull up, Swifties. It'll be a lot of love for you guys. But yeah, I just think that the game has changed, and you're going to see a lot of these records. It's like basketball today. You see a lot of players catching guys that you're like, wow, they passed them. This person in scoring and rebounding, assists, etc. It's just because of the pace and how the game is played. And Mahomes is the best of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like 50 touchdowns his first season, starting 5,000 yards. That is the way that you start it all off. And he's going to break a lot of these records going forward. And that's why he's going to go down as the greatest quarterback of all time, depending if he can get a couple more Super Bowls. But yeah, he's a cheat code, man.
What we're seeing from Patrick Mahomes is so unprecedented. And I know I sat here and said before we drafted him, if the Chiefs draft Patrick Mahomes, they're going to win numerous Super Bowls. Yes, I said it and I meant it, and it's happening. And of course, I feel good about it. But it's so unprecedented because all the records, all those touchdowns, and who he's about to pass. I mean, we look at Patrick Mahomes at what he is, why he is just so great that he can make any of the weapons great. I mean, I created a Justin Ross fan page, and he's got 2 passes thrown to him all year. And we all sat here and died when Tyreek Hill got traded, but Justin Watson, who couldn't get on the field with Tampa Bay, is pretty much leading receiver, who's the go-to guy. You know why it all comes around to? Number 15, Patrick Mahomes. He can throw it. He can make any wide receiver on the team. I mean, think about it. Richie James didn't play. Justin Ross was on the field, but only saw 1 pass. Kadarius Toney only played in 2 snaps. Mm-hmm. The 4 receivers that we had, we cruised. Patrick Mahomes is so good.
Really good.
Patrick Mahomes is so good that we can miss on second round wide receivers. I know that's upsetting Noah, and I'm not trying to take a shot at him. I promise. But look at where we're at because of Mahomes, and look at the wide receivers. It's because of Patrick Mahomes. He can make all the wide receivers great, even if they were playing for nobody in Tampa Bay like Justin Watson was.
Facts.
Just because he's our number 1 wide receiver doesn't mean like he's a number 1 wide receiver. He's higher in Kansas City if Justin Watson's your number 1 wide receiver.
But we're winning because of Justin Watson. I didn't think
we're winning because of Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid and Travis Kelce, as Michael Mackey likes to point out.
Exactly, and that's something to be happy about. I'm happy about it.
Hey, this how special Pat is, Shane. If you we're looking at McColl's numbers, 1 catch, 6 yards. But what about Juju? We
10 all for 60.
We all wanted Juju back because we were like, he's our number 1 guy. clearly, he got open enough and Pat found him. And that's why I think somebody is going to emerge here in these next few weeks that's going to be the number one guy other than Travis Kelce.
I don't think anyone is all year. I don't think anyone's going to emerge. I think you're going to see it just like Sunday. I think you're like, wow, Sky Moore had 4 catches this week. I know that's a lot, guys. That's hyperbole. That's hyperbole. Then it'll be Justin Watson. Then, wow, Kadarius Toney came back and played football today. He had 7. It's going to be like that all year.
Can I say this?
That's fine.
I think Justin Ross will have his DeMarcus Robinson, Jerry Rice game, and everyone will be like, wait, he's arrived, and then he'll disappear for the next.
Sky Moore, I think that we found his, I think he's going to be getting about 3 to 4 catches a game. How many yards he get is going to come down to the big play. That's just his floor. The ceiling is he can have games where he has 7 or 8 catches. But I just think that he kind of has found where he fits in at. I hope, I'm sad to say this, guys, and Brian, I hope that Kadarius, I just think that they should use him as a gadget guy, like McCole, and them trying to make him a number one. I just don't think that he's ever going to be healthy for that. So you find a role where you don't have to overuse him, and he can really excel to where you can look at a guy like Sky, like a Rashee Rice, who can be more of the guys who catch the 4 to 8 balls a game for you that can stand out. But I think that Sky is trending up for me.
I look at it, let me say this quick, Brian. I look at it as this. I think what was the downfall, if there was any, for Patrick Mahomes? It was 2021 where the opposing defensive coordinator saw how they to defend Tyreek. That was the downfall, if any, of Patrick. Since Tyreek Hill's been gone, Patrick Mahomes is still Patrick Mahomes. I mean, Tua Tagovailoa needs Tyreek Hill, but Patrick Mahomes, he doesn't need Tyreek Hill, because once Tyreek Hill's been gone, Patrick Mahomes plays freer. He's able to be unpredictable. He's able to throw to Justin Watson 4 times a game and Sky Moore 3 times a game and still throw it to Kelce. It just seems like once Tyreek Hill's been gone, the pressure's off Patrick Mahomes. He's like, I can throw it to anybody else, and I don't have to worry about these defensive schemes. Go ahead, Brian. What do you think?
It's the paid in full offense, man. EB. Everybody eats, B.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nobody eats.
Okay,
they don't eat well.
What are you talking about? Jerick McKinnon got 2 tutties.
Yep.
What you talking about? Rashee Rice out here making crucial catches. Scott Moore was making his crucial. You can hate it all you want to, Noah, but Scott Moore was crucial in these last 2 games and making these catches. Okay. Well, yes, crucial. To seal the game against the Jaguars. Scott Moore didn't make the catch. Excuse me. Are we serious right now?
Falling down, wide open.
It was nothing crucial against the Bears, but the fact remains that everybody is going to eat. You don't know who's going to get it. McKinnon, Toney, Blake Bell, Rashee Rice. Who you want? MVS. We ain't even talked about him yet.
Naming really bad players.
I'm just saying. No, we're not.
We're all saying the same
They fit
thing.
into this. That's saying this is the thing that you and Clint don't get. They fit into the system. Okay, Tyreek, yes, you can do whatever with him. He can fit in. He can fit everywhere. But these guys like McCole, and we're seeing it right now with the Jets. He doesn't fit with them. He doesn't fit in their system. They're not using him properly. He fit in the Chiefs. He fit in the Chiefs offense just fine. Won 2 Super Bowls. What are we talking about? He got 2.
His wife was having a baby in the last one.
Doesn't matter. He was in it. He's on the team.
He was not in it.
He's on the team. He got 2 rings.
We're all saying the same thing. It's the funny thing. Just some of us like it that way.
Not Noah. Noah's not. Noah thinks that we need to go out and go get Jerry Rice right now. 1993.
He's available.
Jerick McKinnon has 12 touchdown catches in the last 12 games.
I love it.
Tyreek Hill. Jerick McKinnon has the same touchdown receptions as Tyreek Hill in the last 12 games. So are we really missing it? Do opposing defenses have to think about how he
doesn't have a 200-yard game in that amount of time?
12 touchdowns in 12 games.
What does the stats mean? It's not about the numbers. It's about the alphabet.
It is
getting the W.
Yeah, and we're all saying the same thing. I think it just aesthetics matter at times, especially when you see, because guys, the Miami Dolphins are the 2018 Kansas City Chiefs, and they're doing it right now. We remember how we felt when that was us, 50 touchdowns and 5,000 yards and Tyreek Hill.
But
that was not a
Can we talk about? Look, man. Hey, we went through this last year. Same thing. Dolphins went to Baltimore, put up 63 in Baltimore last year or 64 against
Something
the
like that.
Ravens? Yes, they did.
No.
It was like week.
No,
Yes, they
didn't
did.
put up
It was
that many points.
No.
yes, they did. It was
60
like week
64 points hadn't been scored since like
they
1966.
didn't. Oh, they put up that. No, I'm tripping. It was like a second half comeback or something.
Yeah.
They put. It was like 30.
They
I'm
won.
tripping.
Yeah,
But anyway,
35.
the fact remains in September and part of October. Okay, the weather's nice.
Mm.
It's beautiful. That's
Weather's going to be
fine.
nice in December for them too because they play 4 out of the last 5 at home.
Okay, that's cute. Fine.
Right.
But in the playoffs, though, when you have to go maybe to Buffalo, when you have to go,
They're going
to
anywhere
Kansas,
right now.
when you have to
going
go
anywhere.
to when you have to go to Kansas City. Okay, the weather ain't gonna be pretty like it wasn't last year, and you saw the Dolphins falter towards the end of the season. So yeah, get all your cute plays off now
Hey.
while the weather is nice, and that's fine.
think
But it's
we
not
don't
gonna
like
last.
Miami.
Hey, Brian, I think this Miami team is different this year, though.
Yeah,
Like,
all right.
defensively, I think they're a little more solid. They don't even have Jalen Ramsey yet. He's going to come back and add another, corner. And then, they were able to put up 70 without Jalen Waddle. You know what I'm saying? Like, they have 2 explosive running backs out of the backfield. This other kid, I don't know who the hell he is. He is blazing fast out there, 200 yards on like 15 carries. And if Miami can somehow get home field advantage, they're going to have to be dealt with, but they're still not better than the Chiefs.
No,
Hey, man,
It
look.
comes down to playoff football. It's a different type of game. And, we got to see what they're going to look like down the line. But can I take it back to the Chiefs really quick? Because I have to give a shout out to some people who deserve some love. Is that cool with you guys?
do it.
For sure.
The running backs, baby. Like each running back scored a touchdown. Clyde, somebody mentioned it. Clyde was able to run 50 yards. He had some solid runs, and finally they used him instead of an east-west style of run because he is not that fast. I can probably outrun him backpedaling, but he is a north-south guy that was able to find some holes. Pacheco was doing his part. I think that's what's going to help these wide receivers is, running the football. Like you have to run the
Yeah, we can
football.
play the Bears every week.
Hey, I don't care what anybody say. Go for the Super Bowl the Chiefs won. The running game was a crucial part of why they got to the Super Bowl and won the Super Bowl. So being able to run helps everything. So if they can get Clyde, get Pacheco, get McKinnon going out of the backfield, especially in the red zone, that it's going to make us a more balanced offense. And that's the difference between us and the Buffalo Bills, is that the Buffalo Bills can't run the ball, never can run the ball. Their best runner is always a quarterback. But when the Chiefs figured out running the ball, it takes the offense to a whole nother level.
Well, I think that the reason we won the Super Bowl, it's been boggling my mind how we won it without Tyreek. And it wasn't the offense, because the offense struggled there down the stretch, especially that Bengals game.
What?
The defense.
They struggled down the stretch win. In what Super Bowl?
Let's go 38
In the
points.
Bengals AFC Championship game. It was the defense.
I thought you said Super Bowl. Okay.
And we look at the defensive rankings here. I've been telling Clint, watch out for that Jets defense. But hey, I might have been wrong because I digged into the numbers, and I'm not too big to admit when I'm wrong. I'm right about the receivers, so I say I'm right. I'm wrong about the Jets defense, so I'm saying I'm wrong. Yards, Jets 20th, scoring 12th. Chiefs, yards 6th and scoring 4th. This defense, man, they have come alive. You love to see it out of Trent McDuffie, which I know Brian talked about on his blitz. And Joshua Williams is playing great ball out there too. Everybody is, really. I mean, just wait till Charles Omenihu comes back.
You know what? You know who we're not talking about enough, and we haven't talked about enough the last couple of years, and I'm just as guilty about it because I haven't talked about it enough on the Shaggy Shane Kansas City Chiefs show about the past 2 years.
Please don't say who I think you're saying.
Number 51.
Dana, I knew it. That's
that guy. He's been solid every time he's in. Spagnuolo can put him at end. He can put him in the middle. Mike Dana is a monster, an animal. I mean, we could say Brett Veach missed on these second-round draft picks. He hit on Mike Dana. The dude is
many other defensive players. Yeah,
ascending player. We talked about who was a descending, like Demarcus Robinson's last 3 years with the Chiefs. He was a descending player. Mike Dana continues to ascend. Wherever Spags puts him, at the end or in the middle, and thank God number 95 is back with them. That Mike Dana and Chris Jones are the reason why it was so easy to miss Nick Bolton. Now, I'm not taking anything away from Drew Tranquil, but Mike Dana and Chris Jones deserve their props. We we can no longer continue to miss Mike Dana. Go ahead, Brian.
I think it was in the first quarter. I think it was early in the first quarter. Mike Dana put a bull rush on somebody's ass. And I'm going to have this footage tomorrow night on the Line of Scrimmage podcast powered by Star K Media that you can check out on this very channel, okay?
Yay.
But I'm going to have that film, and it's going to be some nasty film. If you look back and go and see Mike Dana just completely bull rush the guy and get the sack on Justin Fields, oh, it was a thing of beauty. And he's been doing that for a couple years. Dana, another one who hasn't really been healthy. I believe he was on the early IR last year. He called him up in the middle of the season, then he started wrecking havoc. But he's really starting to put it together. An undersized guy, but he really knows how to use his hands, and he has great technique. And like you said, man, hey, look, 95 is looking like 92 out there in green and gold.
Yeah.
He looks just like Reggie White at DN. The DNs back in the day in the 90s and 80s, they aren't shape. They weren't in shape how they are now. They were more Bruce Smith, Reggie White. They were kind of bigger, taller. Like, man, look, he's looking like Reggie White on that end. He's looking real comfortable on those third down, third and long situations. And Chris Jones only played 16 snaps, man.
Crazy.
This is ridiculous with the defense is smothering guys, dog. They're mushing the cake in the face, B.
Which leads me to this. Are we transitioning into a new era? Guys, we saw Tom Brady go through different eras in New England. He started out in there as a 6th-round pick, sat out a year, came in, won a Super Bowl his second year in the league. And you know what he was? They had Teddy Bruschi. They had Willie McGinnis and a great defense. Then they transitioned into the era of Wes Welker and Randy Moss and setting records. And he went 16-0. And then towards the back half of Tom Brady's career, it was back to the defense. They had, these slow white receivers out there, Chris Hogan's of the world, and they were winning with defense again. You're gonna, I don't know. I shouldn't call them slow. They're fast.
They run great routes.
They run great routes.
They do have good hands.
That's what we're going to have here. We're going to have different eras. Travis Kelce's 34. He's dating a billionaire. It's not going to last forever. There's going to be different eras of the Kansas City Chiefs, and this defense, the youngest in the league, by the way, to come along at the time it is, this might just be setting up for the new era of Chiefs football, which is a more balanced team. No, I know that's not exactly what you want to hear.
Well, it's the 5th year under Spagnuolo, and like we found out on Fox Sports during the game, they are the youngest in the NFL, and a lot of these kids they're buying in. So when you look at Spagnuolo's 5th year with the team, being young, they're buying in. What do you think, Michael?
I just think that this is a defense with no weaknesses, like no level of the defense. Like a lot of teams, when you look at them, you're like, their linebackers aren't great, or they don't have solid safeties. Every level of the defense has really good players, up front, other than the Eagles, who got the steal of the draft with Jalen Carter, and they're like wrecking havoc on everybody. The Chiefs have like 5 or 6 legit pass rushers that can get after the quarterback, and that's key. And we're not even showing love to Nadi, who's playing some of the best football of his career, helping stop the run and the things that he's been able to do early on. Then you have all the linebackers where we're like, how do we find time and snaps for each of these linebackers with how much talent we have there? The DBs, you got Snead following number 1 guys and doing a great job on Calvin Ridley like he did. And you got McDuffie, who's looking, amazing. Like I say, he reminds me a lot of Jair Alexander. And then Joshua Williams is playing great football. At safety, you have Reed. You got Mike Edwards, who just got his first interception. Brian Cook there. Like, this is a defense with no weaknesses. And before the year, we were talking about this may be a top 15 defense. They exceeded all of our expectations so far. And if they can keep it up, there's no reason why not, to be a balanced team. And that's the issue. The Jets defense is as good as everybody thinks it is. But when your quarterback play is so bad and you're on the field so much, you're tired, you make mental mistakes. And that's why, the defense don't look like what we expected, because they thought they was going to have Rodgers, which led to balance, better field position, things like that. But with Mahomes on offense and Andy Reid, what Spags is doing with those guys, man, the balance that this team can have, I was talking to someone earlier and it was just like, if the defense keeps playing like this, like nobody can deal with the Chiefs because Pat can go and put 30 on you at any moment. And if the defense is shutting you down and getting after your quarterback, making everything third and long, like it's nothing that you can do with the Kansas City Chiefs. So, we're going to keep watching it because week by week, Chiefs can have that one game where they just randomly give up 40 points. And you're like, what the hell happened? But if not, man, the league is in a lot of trouble because Patrick with a defense that's top 5, it's going to be impossible to beat.
I got 4 words for you. In Veach, we trust. I told y'all. No, and this is for Noah and your Tyreek Hill tirade.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for that trade, this defense wouldn't be as talented as it is right now.
Yep.
This is how this thing works,
Dolphins
man.
could be more talented,
That's how this thing works. Okay, you draft offense, and all of a sudden you got a young, good offense, and now they get a little too expensive. Okay, so we got to piece them out. Let's load up on the defense now. This is a culmination of these draft picks that Brett Veach has drafted the past 2-3 years, man.
I want him to keep drafting defense because you can't draft offense. So just keep it all on the defensive side.
He can't draft offense, but he drafted Patrick Mahomes. Okay.
John Dorsey was the general manager.
Okay.
All needs to be said is we benefited from trading Tyreek Hill. We built the defense that won a Super Bowl. I mean, that's
trust Veach.
Brett Veach can go freaking Ric Flair and say, if you don't like it, learn to love it because it's the best thing going today.
And we've only just begun, right? Absolutely.
Right.
I like the Ric Flair reference there. And I do. Brian, you are so right. Now you think about it. We talked about it all last year, especially the young corners, the young players in the secondary. Now we're seeing it once again come around with Brian Cook, who's, I think has more upside than Juan Thornhill did during his 4 years here in Kansas City. The Felix and George Karlaftis, the defensive ends, those two pieces are extremely important going forward. You're 100% right. And Nick Bolton, I love that pick out of Mizzou, one of the most instinctive player I've ever seen play at that position in college football during, my time covering the Missouri Tigers and the SEC. 100% right. And that's why I say that I think that this is perhaps a transitional period, but when you have Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, Michael, you can still make magic offensively, and they're going to learn it. They're going to figure it out. And if they're not already figuring it, I think by the time they play the Dolphins, by the time you play the Bills and Bengals, I think this will be humming along, and this could be the most complete team in the league and perhaps the best team in the league at that time.
The only thing I'm going to have to learn to love, I'm never going to learn to love, but I'm a receiver guy and I hate the receivers and it bugs me and it will, I guess, until the day I die, because we're never going to have a great one again. Aw.
Hey, but listen, when it
Rasheed
comes
Rice, man.
Yeah,
where's your Stephon Page jersey at, Noah?
Hey,
in the closet, I'll go get it.
We're eventually going to get Rasheed Rice on here, so we got to be ready for it, right?
Yeah, but Rasheed looks like Debo. Like he looks like Debo. Which comparison. I think they found out like his role is to be in the slot. I think they've been trying so much Sky in the slot. Sky has a better release, so it helps him when he's on the outside. Like, did you see that route that he made on the first down catch from Blaine Gabbert? Like, the guy has crazy routes. And then Rasheed is just a big body that knows how to read defenses really well and find his spot into the zone. Like, you gotta let the receivers grow. It's only
I'm tired of letting them grow. They don't grow. Nothing grows around here. Not all the receivers. They don't grow. Stop waiting for them to grow.
Hey, no, I wish I can go back to your tape talking about Tyreek Hill when he was a rookie. Because look what Tyreek was able to become. And I guarantee back then you're like, man, he's a gadget guy.
Probably, I probably did say he was going to be Dexter McCluster or DeAnthony Thomas.
Exactly. So you just got to because believe me, some of these guys might be bust and they might not turn out. Kadarius might not be what we wanted, Sky might not be what we want him to be. But Rasheed Rice might become that Pro Bowl caliber receivers. But you never know. You got to give them time. And with Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady was able to create Julian Edelman and all these other guys. You don't believe Patrick Mahomes can help create, at least make Sky more Julian Edelman? You're crazy.
Patrick Mahomes in his first NFL start made Albert Wilson a lot of money.
And
So whoever they throw
Demetrius Harris looked good.
Yeah, whoever the
Yes.
wide receivers are that Patrick Mahomes has out on his field, and I can't stress it enough. Since Tyreek Hill's been gone, he's not being stifled. He's playing at his freaking great level. It's just what it is. In 2021, every week, oh man, the secondary of the defensive coordinators Patrick Mahomes is going against, they know they're playing the shells and they're able to take away Tyreek Hill, and we heard all of it. And that was, in my view, his only real struggle was how the defensive players played Tyreek Hill. And that's why I firmly believe Tua needs Tyreek. Patrick doesn't. And it proved it last year, and he's proven it this year.
He's the greatest, but it also makes it really hard at times. We saw week 1 against the Lions. It was bogging down, receivers dropping balls. Week 2, you score 17. Guys, you've heard me. I said this can grow. This is going to be good. We know Mahomes. We know what we have. I'm not diminishing any of that, but we saw last year that it made it really hard. Patrick Mahomes sustained a terrible injury that he had to fight through. It was really hard to beat the Texans, to beat the Broncos twice. It was really hard. You couldn't run away from teams because you didn't have the weapons to do it. Now we're all trying to get to the same place. And this is what we have to do, because you're a 2-time Super Bowl champion in the last 4 years. You've got to dive in and into the pool at times. So that's what we're doing. We're all trying to arrive at the same place. And by the way, I think we all will. Like I said, by the time week 10, 11, 12, I think this thing's going to be humming along at a level that's going to boggle everybody's mind. I picked us to go 12-5, even though we lost week 1. I think I might have egregiously underestimated what this can be.
Yeah, I picked us to go 13-4, and we got a comment here from Tony Russ. I want to get, what do you guys think about Blaine Gabbert's performance? 2 picks. What the hell?
Not
Obviously,
a good one.
One of those was off
Rasheed Rice dropped that one.
Yeah,
I did think before, I didn't think it would come up this fast, but before the Bears game during the week, I was thinking about, like, I'm a little worried if anything does happen to Mahomes that Chad Henne, Blaine Gabbert's not Chad Henne, and this could be an issue if he has to come in and salt a game away or do a 98-yard drive or get it to Tyreek on a 4th down against the Browns in the playoffs. That could be an issue. Hopefully we don't have to deal with it, but you saw that it's not quite there yet, so hopefully it can be if needed down the road.
I love Chad Henne.
I think
you got it, Shane.
I think a lot of the want to with the entire team went out when Patrick Mahomes went out. I'm not giving an excuse to Rasheed Rice for dropping that ball, which was intercepted, but you could just see the level of intensity when Blaine Gabbert came in when we were up 41-3 with 5 minutes left in the third quarter. I just feel like we were just chilling. We were basking in the Chiefs, Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce glow. That's just where we were. And trust me, I'm not giving Blaine Gabbert an out. You would love to him come in there and throw 3 touchdown passes, but the way they kept running the ball. Okay, we'll pass now. It just seemed like a lot of the want to was gone. What do you think, Noah?
Yeah, I think if the want to's gone, I'd be upset if I'm Blaine Gabbert going to the sideline. Hey, guys, I'm trying to get some money. Look impressive out here, and you guys are just jogging around out here, lackadaisical, talking about Taylor Swift. Like, I'm going to get cut here. Pick it up.
He's trying to play till 40 like Chase Daniel.
The offensive guys were like, hey, I don't even think the coordinators were really talking about anything. They were just like, man, you think Travis is going to introduce us to Taylor and things like that? So they kind of were just – and then they knew that the Bears weren't going to really do too much offensively. So they kind of were in coasting mode. But and like all of the praise towards Chad Henne, he did make some plays for us. But last year in Jacksonville, Pacheco gets a lot of the credit for me because he made such a big run. So you already know if something does happen to Pat, which I pray and hope it never does ever again, that Andy Reid is just going to coach his guys up.
Definitely.
And Blaine is going to be all right. I don't think that 2 interception performance is what Blaine will be if he's needed.
Well, on to the Jets we go. And guys, things are not going well since Aaron Rodgers popped his Achilles 4 plays into the season. Joe Namath, our good friend, Broadway Joe, is not really happy with the quarterback situation. And we'll get into more about that as the Jets have signed Trevor Siemian since then. But boy, Broadway Joe says, send Zach Wilson to Kansas City to back up against somebody like Mahomes and maybe learn something. I wouldn't keep him. I've seen enough of Zach Wilson. I've seen enough. He has quick feet, can throw a little bit, but I don't believe what's going on up there. Who rough go for the Jets? They were everybody's sexy pick, man, and they're done.
I got an idea for the Jets because they were a sexy pick because of Aaron Rodgers. Freak accidents happen. What can you do? But
sign Trevor Simeon's what you do.
Shout out to J. Cole.
Hello?
Yeah, we've got Trevor Simeon here.
Kaepernick was like, hey, can I post this? He posted, like, give that man a tryout, put him on the practice squad. Man, like, why not try something like that and see if he can give you a spark? Because right now, they're ruining this season. You know, like, are you going to trade for Kirk Cousins? Are you going to go and get somebody? Because this team has talent on this roster. The defense is great. They were built to win right now. So why not maybe make a move like that, which is, put him as the practice squad quarterback, see what he's looking like. If he's lighting it up, it's like, hey, let's give him a try. You're not about to win a lot of games with Trevor Simeon. You never were going to win games keeping that scrub at quarterback that's back there now. So why not try something out of the box, try something new? Hell, I'll even give Carson Wentz a call if I have to, just to try anything because it's not working. The Chiefs should beat them 70 to -10. You should take away points from how bad
their defense won't allow that many.
No, yeah, their defense won't. But when you're on the field most of the game, you're so tired. You're like Sauce Gardner is empty of all the sauce when he's on the field for so long.
So what happened to the Jets' backup quarterback that they had last year?
Mike White.
Dolphins.
Yeah,
wow. Why did
he was higher rated, threw more touchdowns than Zach Wilson.
It is. Let him go.
Well, they're in a situation. They're in a bind. We can't help them out of it. Like Dick Vermillion used to say, guys, keep losing. Teams losing. That is the Chiefs' modus operandi this Sunday night at the Meadowlands in the Big Apple, where I will not be attending because I suck at driving through traffic. I don't like big cities like New York City. Been there once, and that's enough for me. The Chiefs can go take care of business without this guy because New York is just a little much for me.
I can't believe they didn't flex it, man. Why didn't they flex it back to noon, man? The whole world's gonna have to sit.
Hell no,
man.
No Chiefs noon games. No,
I'm with you. That's still too much cachet because guys, again, spoiler alert: Taylor Swift's going to be there at this game on Sunday night in NBC camp. Can you imagine, guys? Chris Collinsworth. It's on. She has a home in the Hamptons, Michael. Okay. She's going to be there. She's going to be looking dapper like me with this shirt on, and it's going to be on. So that's Shane. I think that's why.
Are they going to send up Chris Collinsworth's son to try to do a pregame interview through her, or what?
They should.
They might do it. That broadcast, and Chris Collinsworth is going to be too busy talking about a different Taylor, Jawaan Taylor, Taylor Swift. So
that's what he's going to be talking about.
And what are you flexing in there? I mean, this is not exactly the
Bills
week.
Dolphins.
You got Bills Dolphins.
Broncos Bears.
Not the Broncos and Bears.
What?
Chargers
they're
Raiders
playing each other this week. Oh no!
Right. That'll probably be the
worst.
Kansas City game too.
This is a brutal week, guys. This is a brutal week for games. I'm just going to be honest with you. Bengals Titans, Rams Colts, Bucks Saints, Commanders Eagles, Vikings Panthers, Steelers Texas. I'm out.
Niners Cardinals.
Commanders Eagles is good.
No, it's not. I'll see you Sunday night.
Yes, it is.
No, it's absolutely not.
Brian,
your obsession with the NFC East is going to cost us a friendship, I'm afraid. I hate that division so freaking much.
The NFC East is full of heavyweight juggernauts.
It is not.
But yes, it is. Look, they have the most Super Bowls. Cowboys have 5. Giants have 4.
Redskins have
Washington has 3. Come on. 3. Yes.
You're right.
Stop it. Stop it.
82.
Bring back the Redskins.
Don't sleep on the
They're bringing that name back.
No,
I'm in on it.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, me too. I mean, but don't sleep on the Marshall Falk Bowl, the Coach Rams. It's going to be a solid game.
Okay.
Hell no.
Thursday night, we got a good
the Eric Dickerson Bowl.
Shout out to
Lions Packers Thursday night.
Hey, shout out, that's gonna be a really good.
Yeah, there you go. That's a barn burner.
Okay.
Yeah, Jordan Love, he's out there playing with scrubs where all of his guys already hurt and not playing. The fact that he's able to, be 2-1 right now, he's showing some things. Some people are doing too much. They're gassing him up a little too much, calling him somebody, Ryan Clark, or someone said he looked like Brett Favre, and a lot of people are doing the Jordan Kobe videos with him and Aaron Rodgers. Too much, too fast, but I do like what the Packers are going to do. And, let's see what the Lions are going to do Thursday night. So we got some good football games.
I believe the toilet bowl here, John Harrison, is taken by the Browns Bengals in the 90s and early 2000s. So Broncos Bears is going to have to come up with something else. So.
Yeah,
Man,
hey,
the
that's a
Broncos get
terrible
their first win. Big for the Broncos, big for Sean Payton, who has been nothing short of a disaster. He went all Todd Haley this offseason and said, you could give me any team off the streets and I can give you 5 wins, just like Todd Haley said after the Herm Edwards was fired, and then they proceeded to go 4-12, which so I guess technically is right. He was above the 2 wins. Sean Payton's gonna have to put up or shut up. I'm getting John Gruden vibes, guys, out of
I hope
out of this
so.
coach, out of Sean Payton. That's what I'm getting.
You know what, guys? You know what's so beautiful about this Denver Broncos situation? It's not
everything.
The 70 points was magnificent. Shouts to the Dolphins for doing that. I loved it. And make no mistake about it. Okay, guys, that was Mike McDaniels sending a message to Sean Payton about his comments in offseason. You don't do that to coaches.
There you go.
You don't. But the most beautiful thing about this, fellas, the Russell Wilson contract hasn't even kicked in yet.
Yeah.
So what the hell do you do? It's like a 5-year contract, fam. What do you do? Your hands are tied to this contract. Like I seriously don't know what they do. I think Sean Payton could be putting him in a position to where, because he called him out on the play calls and talking about, well, I didn't have to do this with Drew Brees and this, that, and the third, and so I think he's trying to make people make a decision. It's either him or it's me.
Yeah.
What do you do?
That's bad enough. Draft Caleb Williams and sit Russell or whatever.
It's like a $200 million plus contract, right? Like $250 million.
Hey, tank for Caleb. That will be their best move.
Well, they better start Sunday by losing to the Bears. That's their only hope of that. And the Bears are on that track as well. The Cardinals were firmly implanted as the favorite. They beat the Chicago Bears. So Jonathan Gannon, all of a sudden,
Cowboys.
The Cowboys, we know Mike McCarthy, they're due for an F+ game once every 4 weeks, and they got theirs in, and I still think they're a formidable foe down the stretch. So there are a lot to still play out, guys. It's week 4. We're loving it. We're going to get to our predictions.
Hold on, you think the Cowboys are formidable foe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, Chris, here's your Cowboy slander. So the Cowboys go on the road. This Cardinals team sucks.
Yeah.
Name somebody on the defense.
Buda Baker.
Buda's still there.
Okay. No Isaiah Simmons.
Fabian Collins, linebacker.
No Calais Campbell. He ain't coming
Marcus
back.
Golden's gone.
No JJ.
Okay, so Cowboys, no Trayvon Diggs now. Sorry that he got lost, but it is what it is. That Cowboys about to falter, y'all.
No, they're
about to falter back. They're not. You think this team is beat Eagles?
Hey, they're going to be solid. But back in the day, Whitney Houston said, "Crack is whack." Dak is whack, man. Dak
exactly. That's what
I'm
saying.
saying. Only Whitney had stuck to that.
The red zone. Oh, stop it!
I love Whitney Houston.
Don't
Come
do
on.
that. Look,
literally
man,
why she died. I'm just saying.
Michael, why'd you
chill?
I
Let's
love
not
Whitney
do that.
Houston. I'll sing
Michael, see what you did, Michael.
We're not finna do our Nubian queen like that. We're not finna do that.
I love her.
All right. So look, man. Look, like I was saying, the Cowboys with the red zone turnovers with Dak, that is a problem. It's been a problem for him. Okay. And how many interceptions did he have last year?
15.
Like 15. Excuse me. He almost there. I'm telling you, that's why the Cowboys are not going to be a formidable.
And sad to say, they missed Zeke's short yardage. He was the guy that was making it happen in the red zone, and they don't have that. And I just never. There's a certain amount of quarterbacks that fit into this Alex Smith column for me, to where they can win games and make the playoffs, but they would never win the Super Bowl. Dak is probably at the top of that list of guys.
Him and Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, him and Kirk Cousins.
I won't say anything. I'll wrap this up Cowboy segment up real quick. The Chiefs lost to a bad team week 3 last year.
That's what the Colts. Yeah, I was going to say that.
So we'll see what happens there. But Dak Prescott does seem he seems tentative on his throws, and he doesn't seem very accurate. So I am concerned about their future.
But they get Trey Lance for no reason.
Hey, the only difference last year, Colts quarterback at least had his jersey in the stores there.
Right.
Dobbs. His jersey in the stores.
No.
And you lost to that guy. So I don't want to hear no Cowboy talk.
I'd be pissed if I was a Cardinals fan. I'd be, what the hell are we doing winning this football game? Like, we're competitive. We're a nice team. We're keeping some games close, but we have to lose them all. I need Caleb Williams.
Caleb doesn't want to play there, so they don't have to worry about
Probably
that.
would.
I don't know if he wants to play in Chicago or Denver or any of these places, but that's where it's going to be, or back to school at USC, which doesn't sound that bad either, Michael. Hanging out for another year in SoCal at the LA Coliseum with Lincoln Riley and the bunch of recruits they're bringing in. Hey, it's all good. Plus, now you're in college, you can make $1 or $2 million. So
throwing to Jerry Rice's son.
NIL.
We'll see what happens. Guys, it's time for our predictions. It's time for Chiefs Jets. Guys, we haven't met this franchise since 2020. Who could forget back in November of 2020 as the Chiefs hosted and beat the Jets in front of 11,000 rabid fans at Arrowhead? This time it's at the Meadowlands. And Brian, be shining. Chiefs are going in there, and they're going in there a big favorite. How do you see this one playing out?
Man, it's lovely how the schedule is breaking for the Chiefs right now. Like, it is just I haven't seen it break like this for us in a while. So I'm glad that the Chiefs are kind of getting a little cakewalk right now. They deserve it. But with that being said, national TV, the Jets don't want to get embarrassed. And I think this is going to be a challenge for the offense this week. I do. I think the defense will step up and they'll do their thing. I could see Zach Wilson sneaking off a couple long runs or something like that. But I think, the Chiefs will handle business for the most part. I could see the Jets squeaking out about 13 points. Chiefs, I'll go 26. It'll be a weird Harrison Butker 4 field goal game. 26-13. Chiefs get the dub.
13 to Zach Wilson. Oh, I'd be disappointed in this defense.
Noah, go ahead. Let's hear it. Give us a damn score.
All right, I will. Jeez, God, get on here. All right, I've got this. I mean, the defense, we talked about, it's not as impressive in the numbers, but like Michael brought up, it's still a really good unit. Zach Wilson just puts them in horrible situations and positions, and they're out there so much. Lots of 3-and-outs, turnovers to where the Chiefs are going to have a short field, but still this defense is going to make it tough for this offense because of the receivers. So I've got it 20-3. Chiefs get the win, kind of a ho-hum, but this defense shuts down the Jets. They get a field goal.
That's a Marty Schottenheimer score.
Absolutely. That's what this team is now. So unfortunately, well, they're still going to win. They're still going to win, but 20-3 Chiefs. Shane, let's hear it.
I think tomorrow we're going to win. Jets, when their coach comes out for his press conference, he's going to announce that Trevor Siemian is the starting quarterback. And I think with that said, he'll bring them a veteran presence, and the Chiefs will play against Trevor Siemian, and Siemian will give them 14 points in the first half. The Chiefs will be up at halftime 17-14, but the Chiefs will win it going away 27-17 with Trevor Siemian as the Jets starting quarterback. What do you think, Michael?
Trevor Siemian on like 2 days prep, 3 days, 4 days.
He was with them last year.
That would be
a new offense with Nathaniel Hackett.
Still,
that would be a nightmare. I'll say 27-6. I think that, this Chiefs defense is going to look at him and be like, just like Shaq says about players, barbecue chicken. That's what it's going to be for this defense. Barbecue chicken, they're going to attack Zach Wilson, Trevor Siemian. Even if Joe Namath's old self gets out there, they're going to attack. And the Chiefs are going to dominate. And I think the offense has kind of found some things that they can do. And that's what it's going to be all about, seeing the growth from the offense. The offense still scores at least 20 points a game. Like, even when, they lost to Detroit, they scored 20 points. So I think they're going to be able to get 27 points. Somebody's going to, I think I'm going to say this, a wide receiver will catch a touchdown this game, and the Chiefs are going to have fun, and we're going to have fun watching it. So 27-6. Kansas City, easy work.
I'll say a receiver does not score. So there's a little Noah Michael.
Well, what is this, 2014? Of course the receiver is going to score. And back in my day, guys, whenever I would have to be asked for a score and I was going to make it like a ho-hum blowout by double digits, but not a blowout that looks like it on paper, I'd always say 24-10. That was always my like Madden score that I kind of wanted to win by, like 24-10, just a normal NFL score. 24-10 it will be on Monday night. On Sunday night, I was going to do like a good Shane scenario. We haven't had one since the week 2 Chris Jones recovering the
Overtime
fumble.
sack, yeah.
I don't have one like that because I don't think it's going to come to anything quite necessary like that. So 24-10, and I think that we do have to be mindful of the Jets and the potential that they had, and they do have some weapons at receiver. We obviously know Zach Wilson hasn't been able to.
I'll be disappointed if this team gives up a touchdown to the Jets that's not some ridiculous or just garbage time touchdown. If it's in the heat of battle and they score a touchdown, I'll be disappointed.
I just don't think you can do it. I mean, the NFL is just so unpredictable. So many things can happen. Like you said, I mean, you have things like that happen. You saw them with like the first touchdown of the Missouri-Kansas State game. Noah, you remember that? You said you would just get up and walk off and go home because the ball is deflected off a defender and it's just caught in the back of the end zone.
If something crazy like that happened, but I just mean just a regular, Zach Wilson, 3-step drop, nails Garrett Wilson for a 45-yard touchdown.
I'm not going to say that can't happen, but and still it'd be a good day. So
the only reason why I think it's going to be ugly because I didn't think the Bears game was going to get ugly the way that it did. And I just think the Chiefs defense is to that level that they're going to cause some turnovers. And if you get Patrick Mahomes extra possessions, like you are in trouble. So I think, the Chiefs might be up 27-6 in the middle of the third. And they might say, all right, game's over. Or it might even be 27-0. And they might say, all right, come on, Blaine Gabbert, come make up for those 2 interceptions and see what you can do. And, it's sad because I was like, we finally get an early season matchup, Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes. But now we're stuck with Zach Wilson or Trevor Siemian. Oh my gosh, we're cursed.
So is NBC. Trust me, the NBC affiliates are not happy. Guys, it's been
time for the defensive line to eat here. So
right.
This is a horrible offensive line. Chris Jones, this is time to earn your incentives.
Now, this is a time where everybody might eat defensively.
Yeah,
here we go.
Not offensive, defensive.
We'll see you Sunday night. Big one coming up, guys. Chiefs trying to get to 3-1. I believe in it.
Let's do it.
Can you feel it?
On prime time in front of the
believe
world.
it?
Taylor Swift.
Ready. Taylor Swift in the house.
We saw red.
We got that one.